rather late morning. It is me, Pearl, from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned in Tarot, and we're about to take a look at the divine masculine and divine feminine balance inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see reflected back to us in our outside world. And if we want to see changes, if we want to have different types of interactions or change our location or our environment, we must go within and make change inside of ourselves. Oh, the age-old tale. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to start with Divine Masculine today. I did not post the shuffle because I was having a moment and I stayed in that moment, but there was music in that moment, and the music included some lovely songs. And the Pride and Prejudice soundtrack. So there's romance in the air. We'll put it that way. And very dramatic romance, which is very fun for everyone involved. Okay, we're going to look at Divine Masculine now. He has the most cards showing. Top of the deck. Overall headspace. Forefront of Divine Masculine's mind. A man of integrity. We have the King of Swords. And he's got a great big sword. And it's got a lot of nutrition on it he's about to serve. Like he's going to serve the tea here. There's truth in this card. There's honor. There's conquering of the emotions. I see aloofness, but it serves a purpose, which is usually very protective of his own vulnerability. And, in that way of the divine feminine, which is that divine feminine aspect of self. So while he protects his own vulnerability, he also protects the specific iteration of the divine feminine energy. So he's wanting to bring truth. He's wanting to communicate and express in his integrity, be honest. The niggling thing in the back of his mind is temperance in reverse. So he's feeling really impatient. He's feeling like it is time to complete cycles and transform and, build a foundation and all those things we're going to see coming up in his mind. So he's very impatient, and he also might be having trouble balancing his emotions. So he might be feeling extreme feelings, like the shuffle was extreme, right? There was so much emotion, it was overwhelming for me even to listen to it, and I was caught up in it and swept up in it. So he's very much he's not very balanced emotionally at the moment, which is why he's trying to counter that with a lot of King of Swords energy to keep from feeling like he's not in control. The first thing on his mind is the Ten of Swords. So he is seeking this completion, and what he wants to see is an ending to the feeling of being pinned down. He wants this cycle of being pinned down in this painful separation to die, because the next thing on his mind is the Death card. So there's an overwhelming sense here of I want this to end. I really want this separation to end. And he wants a transformation. He wants a rebirth. The song that played from the Pride and Prejudice soundtrack's the scene when they're reunited. So he wants this rebirth to happen. And he wants this ending to the Chariot's reversal. So there's been some kind of interference which causes him to have to hold back the wheel of the Chariot, or so he thinks. But remember, the Chariot is a card that's about controlling the ego and just surrendering the ego's desire and just really giving the reins to the divine and being okay, you drive because you're better at driving, which is really difficult for someone like this King of Swords to admit. So he's resisting this. He's no, I think I can do this on myself. I think I exactly what to do and what I want to do, but he's realizing that this is what kind of causes him to slow the wheel down. It causes outside obstacles, and there is a feeling of interference, which is making him pull back on the reins a little bit. I think also because that temperance energy is in reverse and he's just feeling so much emotion. He's like, oh my God, like, I don't even know if I can handle what is about to happen. The next thing up is the Four of Pentacles upright. I feel a positive energy from this, although there is, of course, the potential that there is this third-party interference that's clinging, because I just get a feeling with this Chariot in reverse, there's some aspect of like having to have a family or take care of a family or provide for a family, and feeling like this is interfering with his ability to build a foundation with Divine Feminine, because there might be another energy that's clinging to him. It could be a child, it could be of his, it could be a past partner, it really doesn't matter, it could be a parent, but there's an energy of something kind of holding it back, or the reason for the reins having been pulled, giving this feeling of being pinned down and stuck, and a feeling like someone is not letting go, kind of a thing, and that is what he's wanting this transformation to happen. But I think he's also really kind of being mindful that it's him who is having a hard time letting go, and he's sort of blaming it on outside energy. There's two cards that fell into this position today, and this is clarifying the Death card. So we have, thank you for joining, we have him feeling this Hanged Man's energy, where he's gained this perspective and he can see from the Divine Feminine's perspective, and then following that is the Nine of Wands in reverse. So this resistance to healing, this resistance to transforming, has made it really difficult for him to be able to move forward. When the Chariot energy comes, he's like, he wants to be ready for it, but he's continuously finding that there will be an obstacle of some kind, and it's frustrating him, but he's having to surrender. This is good because the Chariot is not wanting to surrender, but the Hanged Man is being willing to surrender. And when he surrenders, what he's surrendering to is this Nine of Wands energy, healing, having fought these battles and finally healing these wounds that have happened. This rebirth that comes from the Death card transforms him, and then he can finally complete his journey, because here's the Two of Wands in reverse, and this is, I'm sorry, the Three of Wands in reverse. So this is, it's time. Like this Temperance and this card, it's impatience with the slow moving Chariot, impatience with himself for trying to take the wheel from the Divine, when really what he needs to do is allow the Divine to give him the perspective he needs to be able to complete the cycle with Divine Feminine. But Three of Wands is, the pieces have fallen into place and it's time, which is probably why he's gearing up in that King of Swords energy to be in his integrity and his honesty and be able to be direct with Divine Feminine. The first thing on his mind, the top of the deck, overall headspace, is the Nine of Pentacles. And there is the traditional falcon there too, which is a wild bird that is tamed and will go off and hunt and come back to its master. And it always comes back, it always returns. And so he's feeling, there's fear here, because the niggling feeling in his heart space is he's worried. He's really worried because Divine Feminine is in the Nine of Pentacles energy right now. And he wants to believe that she's always going to come back to him, or that she's always going to receive him when he comes back to her. But he's just, because he's ready, because he's ready, he's afraid. He's afraid of losing her. It's like he's realizing that that's his biggest fear. That's what his issue is. That's what his blockage is. He becomes extremely defensive, icy, and aloof, and tries to conquer his emotions because he's so afraid that he's going to lose Divine Feminine, even if he gets her. even if he goes in and like, even if he's not thinking anymore, oh, someone's going to come in before I can, because that's not even, he's like, nah, it's not going to happen. There's not enough time for someone to get in there before I can. In his head, that's what he's thinking. It's like really imminent. But even after I get in there, even after, you know, I sweep her off her feet, she says yes. Well, what about when reality hits? What about the acceptance phase? Like, is she always going to come back to me? She's pretty wild. Like, can I really count on this? Or is she going to be, you know, will I lose her? And so that's why in the headspace where we're seeing, oh, there's potentially some kind of a third-party obstacle that's clinging to him, it's like, yeah, but if you're afraid of losing something, that means you're not going to try to get it because you're afraid of losing it. So this fear has to be conquered in order to move forward. The Three of Cups in reverse, clarifying the Ten of Swords. So the completion is it's the end of any third-party energy stuff that was going on. And if this is like being with other people, etc., this is not something that he intends to continue doing. This is complete. How do I know this is complete? The World, clarifying death. You don't get more freaking complete than that. So this is a release of any third-party energy that has been keeping him pinned down. The total transformation and the completion of the cycle where his fear of being able to keep the divine feminine once he gets her, that fear has been addressed in, no shit, the star energy. And this is the second iteration of the star in this deck, which means this is his new focus. It's no longer focusing on the past. He's now healed and able to move forward towards his wish, which is this new love, this illumination, and being able to finally reveal his divine feminine to the world, because there's no longer any third-party blockages in regards to this. He is using work right now, this foundation that he's built, this thing he's creating. He's using this, good morning. He is using this work right now to be able to try to counter some of the attachment feelings that he's getting from this divine feminine energy who is staying attached to him. And this could be that third party energy or a karmic that is attached to him. It's not suitable. But remember, it's his own attachment to the divine feminine that's also been a problem. So he's working on this. He's also creating something he wants to give to the divine feminine, something that she can keep forever also too. To represent how it is that he feels. Oh, shit. Fuck. Oh, my God. Then we have the Six of Pentacles finally upright. Jesus Christ, thank the Lord, up in heaven above. The perspective that he's gained as he's gone and surrendered himself and taken a look. He's hung himself upside down. And he's taken a look at the situation. He's looked from divine feminine's perspective. He's looked at the divine feminine. He's gained all this clarity. And he's healed whatever it was that has been preventing him from reciprocating. He's now able to give just as much as he had been receiving. Because he's no longer... Oh, Jesus Christ. Eight of Swords. He's no longer protecting himself from the imminence of what's about to happen, because it's about to go off for him. He forever had protected himself from being able to be with any feminine energy because of his fixation on one feminine energy or another, like karmic fixation upon him, however it was. He was protecting divine feminine, his own divine feminine, because he was protecting his emotions, right? And that's what the feminine represents inside of himself. And then externally, the specific iteration of his divine feminine, who he wants to be with, he's protecting her from himself too. But because now he knows it's time, what is it time for? It's time to stop doing that. It's time to stop protecting himself from feminine energy, from choosing feminine energy that doesn't serve him, from choosing energy that is, purposefully unavailable so that he doesn't really have to heal the issues that he's had. That's over for him. That's no longer a thing. Okay, Divine Masculine, let's look at Divine Feminine today and see what we can see. Oh my, holy shit. Okay. This is an interesting reading today. Top of the deck, overall headspace, Divine Feminine is 7 of Wands. So, Divine Feminine is like, I'm standing my ground against any opposing energy of my own making. Welcome to everyone who's joined. I am reading the general reading today. This is the daily tune-in, and usually there's information, there's messages for you there, and if you want a personal reading, you can DM me or you can join me on Sundays with Grace Drega and ask questions at the end of our reading, because we do answer personal questions for those sessions. But this is a general reading, checking right now in on the Divine Feminine energy inside of ourselves. So this is like the emotional part of ourselves. This Divine Feminine energy is standing her ground right now. She's no longer doing the things that she was doing that was blocking her, just kind of like similarly to this Divine Masculine energy. She's actually starting to be much more grounded in her own beliefs, so that whenever she's getting these messages or communications, she's able to assess them and stand her ground and be like, no, I will only talk about what I want. I will not talk about what I don't want. I will not. I will, if I'm thinking about things I don't want, I will reach for a better feeling thought. I am going to stand my ground against anything inside of myself that is blocking me from my higher calling. Because the niggling feeling in the back of her mind is this not 8 of Cups, which is underlying everything. So she's walking away from any of the behaviors that have not served her, any of the ways in which she's blocked Divine Masculine energy from being able to communicate with her, because she doesn't want to admit it to herself, but it's her that's blocked the communication. He has been trying to communicate with her in the best way that he can, and she has been blocking it in some way. And so she's realizing that she's not going to allow herself to prevent these messages from coming anymore because of her fear of what they might contain or not contain. She's no longer attached to what the messages contain, so she's not fighting them off. The first thing in her headspace is this Ace of Cups energy. So she's feeling like it is time to take care of myself. I have been doing this because this is in the past placement as well. So she has been taking care of herself. She has this cup that is being filled up by the divine. It is allowing her to be sensitive and tap into her intuition. And she's really feeling fulfilled. She's feeling fulfillment from this process. It's like one of the reasons why it took so long to get to my reading today is because I let myself do my morning pages, even though I woke up a bit later because I woke up at 4 and I went back to sleep. I got up and I've been doing this thing called morning pages, where I just write 3 pages every day before I kind of do anything else major. And when I do it consistently, I see a lot of things come out that really help me. So I just allowed myself to care for myself this morning. I took my supplements. I got my coffee. I started my morning pages, and then I let myself continue to be in the moment with my DM, even though I had this urgency about this reading. It's like understanding that if she doesn't allow for that love, for those experiences to happen, well, then she's not walking away from the behaviors that don't serve her. And all she wants to do right now is just stop doing things that block her happiness. And the next thing that's really exciting is that she's seeing divine masculine energy like this. This is the King of Wands energy. So she's so powerful right now, and she's empowered by her passions, and she's able to express and communicate. And the other thing that's interesting when I relate this back to myself today, the self-care and everything that I'm doing, I've also just financed my single, and tonight we're gonna have a dinner party with the co-producer who's gonna work with me in the studio that we're gonna work in. And it's the first dinner party I've been to since Thanksgiving, and everyone's vaccinated, and we can kind of feel like almost normal for a night and get to fully express and communicate. And I'm there as the artist also, so it's like I get to be sort of in my power, which comes from this cup. And remember, we are looking at reflections always. We're looking at reflections when we talk to our friends, when we talk to our parents, when we talk to our loved ones, when we talk to our DM, or however you want to say this. This is a reflection of what the divine masculine energy is feeling like, if divine feminine's energy is this. So the match to her energy is going to be ready to express, going to be ready to communicate, is maybe doing this in the present moment because it is in the present placement. The next thing on her mind is exactly what I was talking about with the Seven of Wands. It's the Eight of Wands in reverse. And so there's a couple things going on. Number one, she's understanding how she actively blocked those messages from coming in, either by blocking, like social media wise, or her own fears and worries when a message would come in. Like, I have an experience where I get music on playlists and I listen to them, and obviously that's what this whole channel is based on, and it came from this experience of like realizing that there were hidden meanings in songs just like there were in cards, and that I could interpret them. And so my DM posts music all the time, and I listen to it and interpret it. And when I was in my ego and really afraid, there would be certain songs that I would hear, this is over the past like 9 months, that I would feel all this fear. And then I'm hearing them again the last few days. They're coming on up again. And when I hear them, I'm like, oh, I thought that this was like, you know, him saying this to me, but actually he was saying like, no, if somebody came to me, I would be like, no, I've got someone already. I was like, I totally misunderstood everything because I was trying to read the messages from my ego. And your ego can only read messages through the lens of its own self-preservation. And it's always distorted. It's not able to see the truth because of its attachments. So the next thing that comes up for her is the Queen of Swords in reverse. So we're looking exactly at what I said. Blocking messages, girl. A Queen of Swords who, by the way, is a match to her king right now. When she's in her light traits, girl, she's a force to be reckoned with, right? She's got armies under her command. She's got military strategy. She's a warrior queen. This bitch is Khaleesi. She's gonna burn down everything. Like, she's a fiery queen. She's actually an airy queen, but she's a powerful, like, warrior queen. When she's in her shadow, she is overprotective. She is overthinking. She is maybe conniving, manipulative. And she's seeing how she did this to herself. She's standing her ground now against these behaviors. Because when she would do this, what was she blocking? Oh, nothing special. Just an offer. Just the thing she wanted. The Ace of Pentacles. Her material well-being, prosperity, and happiness. That's the only thing she's been blocking. That's the only thing she's been resisting. Oh, no big. Because this King of Wands, who's been trying to take this action and trying to communicate with her and trying to express this to her, she's just not heard it. She's not seen it until now. And now that she sees it, she feels pretty sheepish. Because the next thing up is like the Page of Cups energy. And it's beautiful because it's like true love. And it's like, you know, it's like carving your initials into a tree. It's like innocent. And it's also, there's an apology here. I'm sorry. I can tell that you don't even need my apology by the way I feel when I tell you I'm sorry. But I am sorry. I'm sorry for blocking these offers because I was afraid. And there's a awareness here about what she's afraid of. This is a divine feminine that has had to protect herself from men, or insert gender of individuals here. Energy that she has a belief about that developed for me before I turned 5 years old. And suppressed for a long time and didn't know. So when I say I'm sorry to myself because I'm sorry that I didn't know that I was even doing that, because I didn't know that something like this had happened to me that caused me to be in this energy and fight off energy that I actually really wanted to be with. So there's awareness there for her. The top of the deck for the heart space is the Wheel of Fortune. Change, baby. Change. The time is here. We saw it over on Divine Masculine's side. There's change there. There's healing there. There's the preparation of the offer and reciprocity. There's action. He's clearing those fears and anxieties about Divine Feminine, like leaving him someday. Like, it's like, well, she can't leave you if she never gets with you. Is that going to be how you do it? So there's change here for both divine masculine, divine feminine energy. There's balancing. The wheel is turning, and there's fate, and there's destiny, and it's time. And the niggling feeling in the heart space is the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. It's time to come out of the cold. This lack mentality is a thing of the past. This is not lack mentality. This is abundance. This is abundance. The cat is intuition and also sexual energy. So it's the balancing of the both sides of self in terms of our sexual creative energy as well. So we can have ideas and now we can express them. Or if you're looking at this in terms of a physical manifestation of a romantic union, you can have love and now you can physically express this love together. There's also a cycle when the Wheel of Fortune is turning. It's about how these cycles are finally coming to this completion. 4 of Swords in reverse, which is the silence being broken. It's also releasing grief, having done that work of grieving and healing and having prayed and turned to whatever name you give that source energy, and drawing all of that inspiration and all of that soothing, healing energy from the divine. And now you can be fully expressive. And now you can hear truths expressed to yourself. And this energy, this King of Wands energy, Divine Feminine feels powerless to this. She thinks it's laughable. She thinks this idea Divine Masculine has over here, oh no, she's going to leave me. She's just like, what a fool. How many years has it been, babes? And you're like worried about this. You're like, oh, but you haven't been with me for real yet. And when you're with me for real, then you'll know. And it's like, I have been with your 5D ass for centuries, number one. And I'm deeply in tune with that. And number 2, I experience your bullshit all the time. And I'm still here. She's powerless against that kind of energy, right? And honestly, she's feeling a little bit weak sauce right now. She's realizing that it was her pride and ego not being under control, right, that caused her to slow down any of the momentum that was coming towards her. And her heart space is really urging her to get that under control. Get those Queen of Swords thoughts that are just, you know, playing these things over and over and over and over and over and over again. That is what is causing the momentum to slow down. And she's got to just really get that ego. She's got to stand her ground against those fears and anxieties. Walk away from the feelings and behaviors that aren't serving her. And then the Queen of Swords and her Queen of Cups are in reverse. So we've got, okay, this just makes so much sense because this is about to happen. I can tell you it's about to happen by the next 2 cards. Damn it, it's crazy. But Divine Feminine is feeling overwhelmed by emotions and like she has no protection. She is feeling completely vulnerable, raw, and exposed for the first time ever. There is complete and total transformation with this Death card that we saw for Divine Masculine. And look how beautiful Divine Feminine's death is. How it's soul death. For Divine Masculine, it was a death of toxicity. For Divine Feminine, it was the death of like beautiful dreams, fantasies that she realizes she created to protect herself from what she really wanted, which is what? I can make it up. The King of Swords. Her true love. Which is a masculine energy in his truth and his integrity and in his honesty and in command. And you know what this says? Authority. Divine Feminine has had terror of authority. She has demanded her independence, but in that process, then that pushes away being able to lead together, right? This is a pair that can lead together with truth and honesty and clarity. But she's pushed away that clarity. She pushed away because of how much grief it caused her, how much emotion it caused her. But she's not doing this anymore. She's done. She's in her integrity and in her honesty and clarity and truth. Mastery. This is mastery for both, and it's really pretty great. All right, let's look at the oracles. Divine Masculine. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, so I used the Sluttist Tarot for the sexual energy of the union. And if you're here for this reading and it's not for a romantic union or anything like that, and it's just about your own career or where you want to go next in life or just to get clarity in general, you don't have to take this as sexual energy in terms of sexy times. You can take it in terms of creative energy, which is all that energy really is. Well, Divine Masculine, 10 of Cups for you, and boy, does that look like a real good time. So, 10 of Cups energy. You are really ready to just indulge your every desire and just have an orgy of like this culmination that you've been feeling in the headspace. This transformation that has taken place has prepared you to receive your spiritual fulfillment. So this isn't not just a 10 of Pentacles, like physical union card. This is an emotional union. So this emotional bonding in this sexual energy is inherent in you right now. You are in the light attributes of the monk, which is a selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit without negative judgment of the physical world or excess piety. So if there are divine feminines who are worried about divine masculines' commitment to them in terms of their chastity, it looks like that is not a problem at this point. And we saw the third party energy, the Three of Cups, in its reverse. So we're seeing a divine masculine who is being a monk at the moment, but he has this devotion, single-minded dedication to his spiritual fulfillment. So right now he's getting He's getting his jollies off from the actual spiritual experience of this, the emotional union that's here. Not just the physical one, though he's looking forward to that too, but it's really just more that now that he feels the spiritual one, he knows that the physical one is going to follow. His guardian angel is here with this card in reverse, which for me is always this emphasis, and it says pray, and it shows two angels together, and I just got to experience my divine masculine in real time together today, and I know I was praying, and I'm sure he was too. So it's just this idea that you're never without divine feminine energy, and if as soon as you focus on source and prayer, you're immediately connected with her in that spiritual fulfillment that you're seeking right now. So I'm seeing a really devoted spiritual divine masculine energy that's really beautiful. And then we're getting grieving, which we already saw the Four of Swords here in the reading today. Honestly, we could be seeing the that monk card too, which is about silence and stuff too. That can also be like a Four of Swords energy. So divine masculine has had to lose something. If that Three of Cups is in reverse and there's been a death and there's been an ending, then divine masculine has had to lose something or say goodbye to something in order for him to move on to this next point. And so we're seeing him here experiencing this time of grieving and healing, and you're just being told to allow that grief to coexist with that spiritual fulfillment and love, because that is actually how it works, right? It's through death that we are reborn, and we have to go through that pain in order to experience light. And then you're getting surrender to the divine, which is again just like the Chariot energy and the Hanged Man energy that we saw for divine masculine. Really, really, you're very welcome, Bernice. Thank you for joining me. This will be posted here and on YouTube if you want to catch the end of it later. So this just really complements this energy so much that he is ready now to just surrender. And then, wow, we have the Divine Orchestration card with an emphasis here, Saint Anne. And Saint Anne has been visiting me because last night I finally cleaned out my closet and I packed everything that I don't need to donate, and I just cleared it out as much as possible. And there's really not much there because I don't really have that much. I've pared my life down in recent years from when I was homeless for a while. And then when I moved here, I acquired things quickly, but most of those things are tarot decks, let's be real. And hi, Michelle. But while I was doing that last night, I went through into this box, and then lo and behold, there was a beautiful St. Anne's medal and card in there that I don't even really know where it came from or who gave it to me. It could have been my grandmother, but I don't think it was. I actually think it might have been an ex-girlfriend, but I can't remember. So St. Anne visited with me last night, and now here she is for Divine Masculine, and it is this reminder that this is absolutely the divine plan, and that you don't have to worry, right? You don't have to have these worries and these anxieties about the situation. Everything is going according to plan. Pig Spirit is here with Use Your Mind Wisely. This is from the Colette Baron Reed deck, and she always has such lovely messages. So I'm going to read the protection message today. Are you ruminating, turning thoughts around and around in your head, but not getting nearer to a decision or solution? Pig Spirit is here to protect you from analysis paralysis. Let your mind rest now and allow your intelligence to mingle with the mysteries of intuitive guidance, releasing your tight hold on facts and unsolved puzzles, whether it be a relationship or any other aspect of your life. In fact, now might be a good time to think about something else altogether and release your grip on needing to know. When your thought processes are muddied by fear and anxiety, allow Pig Spirit to lead you back to the right use of your natural intelligence. Take a break, relax, and release that ball of worry. Soon the smart choice will become clear to you. More facts may be needed, more digging for information, and more questioning. When seeking to learn more, enjoy the process of using your thinking prowess. All the elements of your intelligence are reliably guiding you now, once you've given your mind a rest. Okay, so take a break. Know that the divine plan is unfolding. Don't try to figure it out. Just roll with it and follow your intuition. You might need more information, but things are going according to plan, so you don't have to worry too much about it. All right, Divine Feminine, let us look at your energy. Your sexual energy right now, Divine Feminine, is the sun. So you are basking in this energy right now. You might be basking in your own solo energy. You might be basking in some shared energy. But you are feeling your oats right now. You are feeling like you are just really at your fullest. There's illumination here about your sexuality. I mean, this is huge for me because I had big revelations about child sexual assault yesterday. Like really processing that, something I've been processing for months and months, and finally really letting it go or going into it, or I don't even know what happened, but I came out feeling like this type of energy for myself. Like I can finally be completely open and revealed, and that inner child that usually appears on the sun card, that inner child is grown into a woman. And this woman can protect herself, and she has the ability to make choices about who she wants to be physical with, and she feels free to do this, and she doesn't feel afraid anymore of shining and being like completely enlightened in regards to her sexuality, and that's amazing. I almost want to cry about it, but I won't, because I cried a lot yesterday. And then I cried with joy listening to my playlist today, so... All right, Divine Feminine, you are in the shadow attributes right now of the hedonist. So you might be pursuing pleasure to the detriment of your health or indulging at the expense of others. So rein it in a little bit. And it also just might be that you're resisting. You might be resisting being a hedonist. So maybe you're not pursuing pleasures, and instead you need to inspire creative energy to embrace the good things in life and celebrate this beauty inside of yourself. So maybe you're not overindulging, maybe you're underindulging, and you really need to embrace that sexual energy and just like bring it out into the sunshine, honey, and like celebrate this beauty in yourself and let others enjoy it and see it and take part in it, if you know what I'm saying, okay? I'm sorry, my ego is like this reading. I'm gonna have a good day. Safe travel. There's travel coming up for you. This is also about the soul journey in and of itself. You've been on this really long journey, but where you've been journeying to is reconciliation. I mean, the song that was on during the shuffle was the scene from Pride and Prejudice when Mr. Darcy is walking towards her at the end, and it's so romantic, and it's about the reconciliation and that whole journey that takes place from the beginning of that story to the end, which, can we just give Jane Austen right now props for being one of the greatest female rom-com writers ever? Anyway, this journey to reconciliation, it's here. And if you can embrace the good things in life and embrace your enlightenment and make your apologies about how you blocked the union in the ways that you have this realization in your headspace, etc., you're going to have that rebirth that we're seeing from the Death card. Take time to breathe out any of the last drags or fears that you might have. And the next card is killing me. Dead. Because I literally just put this on my freaking Instagram last night when I got my amazing food. It was so good. And I put just say yes. And that is the next card. Take the time to breathe out, because this is about to be something that you are going to want to say yes to, right? Girl, you got this Wheel of Fortune card right here. You got this Ace of Cups. You got this Ace of Pentacles. You got this Page of Cups, which is a new opportunity in love. So when this comes to you, do not resist this. Just say yes. Don't hold back for fear. And then Dear Spirit is here. Bring a gentle touch. We're getting the protection message. Dear Spirit is bringing you a gentle warning that now is not the time to engage in an argument, no matter how volatile others are being. Do not match their intensity with your own. If you are dealing with an overly assertive person, step back and disengage, lest you agree to something out of alignment with your intentions. Don't let anyone bully you into anything you're uncomfortable with. You have solid footing. If you stand your ground with grace, those who disagree will begin to find their own gentleness and willingness to compromise. Dear Spirit also brings the message that it might be easy to offend someone today or take offense because someone lacks diplomacy. Let all of that pass. You are not meant to take this world personally. While it is a beautiful gift to be sensitive, today you need a tougher hide so that any compromises you make allow you to maintain your integrity. So, Divine Masculine has Temperance in reverse. He's really emotional. He's really intense. He's trying to counter it with this icy, aloof King of Swords energy because he's dealing with those fears and anxieties he has about abandonment issues. So he's healing it and working on it. He's working on being able to reciprocate and release his tendency towards protection of the self. This is healing. But if he is not overly warm today, if he's not overly sensitive, it seems, or something, or if anything like that takes place, take it with a grain of salt. Follow Jinx Monsoon's mantra, water off a duck's back, okay? Like, water off a duck's back, water off a duck's back all day today. I am fucking dead because I have the bottom of the deck for the oracles now, and I also know what the card underneath this card is because I saw it when I put the deck down, and I'm going to show it because it's crazy, but I did not know what this card would be, and now I do. Okay, so the sexual energy for the union is probably one of the better cards in the deck in the Sluttish Tarot, and we are looking at Six of Coins energy, which is Six of Pentacles, which we already saw today for Divine Masculine energy because there is reciprocity here. Finally, it has happened to me. Like, right in front of our face, we have this and we can't deny it. Right inside of ourselves, the Divine Masculine energy is like, I'm here for it. I'm going for it. And inside of ourselves, the Divine Feminine energy is like, baby, I feel you. I'm open to you. Come on in. And that is making us incredibly balanced. We are giving ourselves what we need. And because we can give ourselves what we need, we can get what we need from our relationships. So the sex is good, honey. The sex is real good. It's like a little of this for you, a little of this for me. It's like really good, okay? I can't wait. All right, King energy for the two of you. You are all in benevolent and compassionate leadership. It's benefiting the both of you. You're no longer giving excessive feelings of entitlement or rulership without restraint. And if you are experiencing, because of that Eight of Cups in the headspace for some of the Divine Collective, there's a percentage of the Divine Collective that have ended things, right? We saw the Death card. We saw the 10 of Swords. We saw completion cycles. For some of us in the collective, there are completion cycles, and you have walked away from an energy. And if you're like, okay, well, that energy is not being benevolent and compassionate, and et cetera, then that means that you walked away from a karmic. And that your own masculine energy is like this. And when you see this energy show up, girl, you're going to know. You're going to be like, it's a match. You're going to feel it deep within you. Your guardian angel is here to support you during this very brief pause. And the only reason we're pausing is to just take a moment to breathe all of that last dregs of fears and anxiety out, like we saw for Divine Feminine's Moonology card today, and to reflect with positive appreciation on our entire experience that brought us to this point. I know that my experience that I just had today, and honestly have been having every day, but today, that appreciation for that event today that I had, I will carry that for a minute. However long this pause lasts, I know I can hold on from this very small experience today, which only came to me because I released really deep bonds to a trauma. And so now I'm free. So I'm free to appreciate everything and not be afraid and not take it personally. And I intend to live this energy of this pause this way, enjoying the hell out of everything I'm doing, knowing that what I want is already happening. Not gonna happen soon, it's just happening right now. And it happens every day. And then looky, the Magician that was in reverse for Divine Feminine, the powerlessness she felt to this King of Wands, this need to take action, to express. The union has the power to manifest right now. The manifestation of this union is taking place, and manifestation means it is moving from 5D into 3D material reality. Conclusions are within reach in reversed. This is interesting. So when I get this card, it usually means the conclusions are here. And the very next card that comes out is no. And we got yes. The union is getting wait, postpone, pause, say no. What I think we're seeing this card is you need to say no to the fear and anxiety that these conclusions will not be within your reach. Because when this card comes out like this, it means they're here. And this waiting that must take place, that pause, you must wait with the grace and appreciation that is within that card. And waiting with appreciation doesn't mean you're limiting yourself. You are giving yourself everything you need. For some of us, that might be physical union with another person. It might be another relationship. It might be a soulmate. It might be a karmic relationship. You might need to give yourself another iteration in order to learn lessons before you achieve this conclusion. But during this period of waiting, which is a period that your soul is in, it doesn't have to be where your 3D self is. You're afraid that the conclusion that you seek will never be reached. And the no is to that. No. That is not a thing. You asked and it will be given. So if you're afraid, it is because you are not saying what my mantra for this month is supposed to be, which is I have infinite trust in source. My trust in source is infinite, and you can substitute source for any old word you want. I say God because I'm super Catholic, but you don't have to. But you have to have infinite trust in self, in whatever you feel is motivating you, connecting you to others. Trust and believe. You are getting koala spirit. Oh my Lanta! Spirit has a plan. Didn't I just say it? Didn't I just tell you? And we got the divine plan orchestration card. And we got just have faith and all this kind of stuff. So please, please, please trust and believe. Koala spirit, which is cute as fuck, is here to tell you this protection message. Are you feeling uneasy and mistrustful of the world? Have you been hiding in a safe spot, afraid to venture out because you're convinced that life and other people will disappoint you? Koala Spirit has appeared to let you know that your faith is misplaced. The present safety you seek is already passing away because all things are temporary and outer conditions are always changing. Find your safety by placing your faith and trust in Spirit, who will grow the abundance that is already yours. I wish I could make it up, because that would mean that I was even smarter than I obviously am. Okay, sorry, my ego. Perhaps you are acting slowly and overly cautiously because you lack faith that there is more for you out there than what you know. You may have boxed yourself into a safe place that has nothing else to give you and become so familiar with it that you have forgotten to explore. Are you feeling pessimistic and convinced that there is nothing more out there for you? Koala Spirit reminds you that self-care is meant to replenish you so that you can venture out again in faith, trusting that there is no limit to the joy Spirit wants you to experience. Be good to yourself and reconnect with Spirit to reclaim your faith in things yet unseen. Okay, clearly I am psychic. I don't know if you realize, but I am. And that's me. I'm talking to myself, not you. I'm talking to myself. I'm like, bitch, do you doubt? Do you doubt though? Did you doubt today? Do you doubt? Do you doubt? Because you should not. Okay, let us close the reading out with these lovely Island Time Wellness cards. I shall be getting some new Oracle cards soon from Twindy, who is a fabulous reader on YouTube. She is so adorable. She is from Canada. She has a very soothing accent. I think it's Jamaican. And her readings are very lovely. And one of her decks is on its way to me, so I'll have a new Oracle deck soon. And please like, subscribe, share. Click on the notification bell when you see this on YouTube, for those of you that are watching it over there, so that you know when I'm going to post another video for your viewing pleasure. Also, I'm running a giveaway, which I have to remember to put again into my stories. But if you go follow the instructions on the post about telling me what different wildcard ideas, you can win a free reading from me, which is like 90 minutes long and hopefully very helpful to you. So that's a possibility for you. And then wish me luck, because I'm going to a real live dinner party today. I'm very excited. Oh, let's look at what needs to happen for y'all today. Divine Masculine, here's what you gotta do. Here's what you gotta do, sir. If you would like to come into union today, and I think that you would like to, you must work on it. Sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive, persistent, working on it. Coffee cup, meeting and conversing, savoring the moment, feeling uplifted, and friendship. You must work on this physical experience by starting to have conversations. So you must work on either not sabotaging yourself from meeting up and talking, from potentially scheduling something or putting something together. Just work on the saboteur, the inner saboteur that we saw here, which you are doing, right? Excuse me. You're in, what this is telling you is, if this is what you're supposed to do today, like work on the saboteur that's preventing this meeting, and the energy in your heart space is like, bro, today is auspicious to do this. Well, sir, it would behoove you to do such a thing, if I don't say so myself. And I do. Okay, Divine Feminine, what should you do, babes? Well, you should focus on your self-worth, this time to heal, do any shadow work, and appreciate the hell out of yourself in your Nine of Pentacles energy, a glorious Divine Feminine, who is sickening in her eleganza, right? We're just going to steal all of RuPaul's words because he's amazing. So you need to really focus on your own self-worth today. And then we're getting love calls. Someone expresses love, a message of love, thinking of you and letting you know. Now, this could be calling someone, receiving a call from someone. Your Eight of Wands was in reverse, which means you might be resisting sending messages to someone. Or you might be afraid of receiving those messages. Wherever you fall upon this spectrum, that is what you must work on today. You must love yourself enough and feel enough self-worth and heal these things within you enough to either be open to expressing or to fully express love for someone else. Now, if Divine Masculine is working on meeting and conversing and really beginning this friendship between the two of you, And you are focused on your self-worth and receiving this call to come together and meet and converse, or a message to do this. You're both in prime energy to be able to work together today, to collaborate together. And the last card up is Hand of Cards. Take a chance, risk, being strategic, options, not showing hand, and gambling. And it was in reverse. So it is a little bit of a warning, Fool energy, to just go a little cautiously in this process. But it's also saying, do it, though. You want to be strategic. You want to, I think this is an emphasis. So Divine Masculine has been engaging in this not showing his hand type behavior, which has felt very limiting to Divine Feminine. But the universe is telling you right now, don't show your cards. And this isn't one or the other. This is both of you. Right now, do not show your cards to others. Go cautiously, but come together. And the reason why you're not showing your cards to others is because there's a karmic relationship who's paying very close attention. But if you can just go cautiously forward, you're going to be able to welcome love, open your heart, get together, and it's going to go perfectly. Just go cautiously because there's someone watching. All right. That is all she wrote. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I will see you again tomorrow morning here on Instagram Live. I guess I'm just going to do Instagram Live now again. It's working. So we're doing this. We're posting over to YouTube. You can still watch it over there if you want to. It's more convenient. However you want to do it, you can do it. I'm going to go now and have a good day. I'm going to produce some music and then go and have a nice little dinner party. And it's going to be really fabulous. So I will see you again tomorrow. Take care. Until then, have the best day.